Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back. So today starts the last 10 nights of Ramadan, right? But I actually just want to talk about what I've learned and give some tips and advice to other reverts, converts, those who just came to Islam. Alright, so I have them in my phone so I don't forget. Okay, so the first thing that I would say is that you need to pace yourself. Once you take Shahada, pace yourself. Oh, come on, Siri. Okay, so once you take Shahada, pace yourself. Focus on the 5 pillars. You took Shahada, making Salah, paying Zakat, fasting in Ramadan, making Hajj, at least once in your life. But out of all of those, I would focus on Salah first and foremost. The thing that we do daily. Sometimes when you take Shahada, you feel like you have to do every single thing at once. And you don't. Just like when Islam was spreading and more surahs were being revealed, the Prophet didn't make everyone do everything at one time. He got everyone to first believe, and that took years. And then started adding on, don't do this. Stay away from that. Or do this. Do that. Everything was in like sections. Everything wasn't all at once. You don't want to overburden yourself or overwhelm yourself. You need to kind of feel everything out. Do what you can. Focus on what you can do. Focus on Salah, and then grow from there. Then add things on one by one. Okay? I also think that pacing yourself helps with not being confused. It helps you go your own pace. You're not as, I guess, influenced by other people's perceptions of the deen, other cultures and things like that. So just pace yourself and don't feel like you have to do everything at once, because you don't want to get burned out as soon as you start, right? You don't want to get so overwhelmed that you start second guessing. Okay? Alright, so the second thing that I would say is that it would be nice to establish like a love for the Masjid. Really establish a connection with the Masjid. And I'm not even talking about like the people in the Masjid initially. I'm talking about just being connected to the Masjid, loving the Masjid, because the Masjid will be your like sense of support, especially if you don't have any support. If your family's not Muslim, say if you don't have any Muslim friends, the Masjid will be a support for you in a sense that is your tie to Islam. That's your constant reminder. That's your platform. And then once you're at the Masjid, you go to the Masjid constantly. Say you go for Jummah, say you go every day for Ramadan. Then you start to meet people. The more people start seeing your face, you start to meet other people in the community. Then you can establish a support system in the community that way. But having a love for the Masjid is definitely something very important. Also, like when you go to the Masjid and you listen to the khutbahs and you pray in congregation, you get familiar with the Quran more. You get familiar with the Arabic. And you start to naturally pick up words, and you start to naturally understand. Of course, you're not going to like be speaking Arabic overnight or anything like that, but you're going to start to really get the feel, really kind of get that connection with the Quran. You're going to be able to pretty much get the gist of what someone is saying in the khutbahs, and just that familiarity, okay? Again, like you're establishing that frame, that foundation, that support system for yourself by going to the Masjid and then meeting people along the way. Okay? So that was number 2. So the third thing I would say is, this was a big one for me, because when I first became Muslim, I kind of shied away from those who weren't Muslim, as far as like my friends and my family, and I was even like kind of shy on social media, so I didn't say it right away. and those are in some of my other videos. I've been Muslim for 4 years again, but I would say don't shy away, okay? Don't shy away from your family or friends, okay? Don't shy away from, like, if you're on social media, don't shy away from the world. Don't like go into hiding, okay? You have to, you should stay present. It's best for you to stay present. And I'm saying that because the longer you prolong something, as far as the longer you take to tell your family and your friends and the rest of the world, it's kind of like the harder it will be. Sometimes we do need to take a step back for ourselves because it's something new, but the longer you take to tell that to the world, it's going to be a bit harder on you, and it might even take longer to establish a support system, or say that initial shock factor for everyone else. You're prolonging that. So say if you're Muslim and you don't tell anyone until 3 years later, then you're going to have to deal with it as if you just became Muslim like day one. So I would say it's best, you know, especially if you don't feel like you're in any harm or danger, that I feel like it's best to tell your family and your friends and your loved ones, and just let it out to the world as soon as you can, as soon as you feel, I guess, comfortable enough, because then you can get that whole period of the awkwardness and the questions and everything out the way, so then you can really start to flourish in your deen. You can really start to live your life, you know, like a Muslim, like you want to, without, I mean, there will always be questions and things like that, especially if you start wearing the hijab as a woman, but you know, like you wanna kind of get over all those hills, and then it'll be a lot smoother along the way later down the line, okay? Because the shock factor is gone. People start to get used to it, you know, the more something's around. So yeah, I would say don't shy away. Stay present in the present moment, okay? And you know, most times the worst is in our head. We think it's gonna be a lot worse than it really is, and for me, it was not. A lot of it was in my head, and a lot of it just comes down to just staying firm in what you believe in, and you exude that to others, and they'll get the point. They'll have their little things to say, but it's nothing you can't handle, okay? All right. Another thing that I lost count. I always lose count whenever I have to count for something. But another thing that helps me a lot, and which I still do, I would attend like Islamic lectures or seminars. So the one I personally attended was almakrib.org. So almakrib.org. I'll try to post it somewhere in here. But they have like weekend classes and different topics. So I don't know, say you go on their website, they're coming to your city, and you see a topic that you're interested in, like maybe it's something focusing on Salah, and you can learn all about Salah and really get how to connect in your Salah. That's an example. So I would attend like those seminars and classes if I could. You have ISNA, ICNA, you know, all these little conventions. I would definitely attend to really engage yourself in learning about Islam. And I would also, which I literally, every single night I listen to a lecture. So I would listen to lectures, just constantly gaining knowledge. And honestly, religion is a lifelong learning thing. And in Islam, it's a way of life. So you can never know enough. You should never stop seeking knowledge. So any avenue you can seek knowledge from, as long as it's valid, I would definitely do that. Listen to lectures. How I pick out my lectures, however I'm feeling that day, I type it in on like YouTube or something, and that topic, and I listen to a lecture about it, or I look it up, or like right now I'm reading a book called Being Muslim, which is a great foundational book, and I'm reading that to like to re-strengthen my foundation, okay? So I would definitely do that. Again, constantly study. Just this year, I started taking Arabic classes, so how to read, write, and speak Arabic. So again, I'm in year 4 now, so I just got to that. Others may get to it faster, but now I felt like, okay, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on the foundations and, you know, just Islamic life in general. And I wanted to now take the next step to really start learning how to read and write Arabic, so I can really understand and engage with the Quran in Arabic, and khutbahs at the masjid and things like that, Jummah and different things like that. Okay, I feel like having that Arabic background really strengthened the way you look at the Quran, your understanding, your engagement physically and spiritually, especially in Salah. Okay, alright, so the next thing on my list, I have number 6. I don't know how many I said, but the next thing is, I need to touch on this. Okay, it goes back to pacing yourself. So I feel like a lot of the time, for women specifically, we have been kind of reduced to those who wear hijab and those who don't. And unfortunately, outward appearance is such a big thing in life in general. At least people take it that way. But at the end of the day, we are not reduced to you wear hijab, you don't wear hijab. So don't get caught up in like wearing hijab, oh, I have to wear hijab, or if I'm not wearing hijab, I'm not a good Muslim, or if I'm wearing hijab, I'm better than someone else. No, it's not any of that. Someone who doesn't wear hijab can be better than the person who does wear hijab, you know, and vice versa. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Those who do wear hijab, they're stronger in that aspect of their deen than someone who doesn't. And then someone who doesn't wear hijab, they may be stronger in another area than someone who does. So I wouldn't be so consumed in, oh, I have to wear hijab, I need to wear hijab, and just focus on that. Don't gauge how good of a Muslim you are by if you wear hijab or not. Now, of course, wearing hijab is an amazing thing. I started wearing hijab a year after I took Shahada. For others, they're not wearing it yet. Others, they started wearing it the day they took Shahada. We all have, like, again, our own path. Some people, they just go up, up, up. And other people, me, my path is like, do, 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 do. Okay, it's not that bad. My path is like, do, do, do. Okay, you get the point. But my path is not just up, up, up. It hasn't been. Other people's, it is. They just keep going, keep going, keep going, and mashallah. But we all have our own journey, our own paths. As long as we're doing things with pure intentions and always trying to improve, then, you know, you'll get there. We will all, inshallah, get to where we need to be. But I wouldn't consume myself with hijab, no hijab. If you can, you know, I would try it. I would try it. I think wearing hijab is a beautiful thing, and there's so many benefits to wearing hijab. But the only thing I want to say about that is, don't gauge yourself on how your level of piety or how good of a Muslim you are based on whether you're wearing hijab or not. Okay? Alright, so next thing. Don't do anything you are not comfortable with, okay? Now, I remember when I took Shahada that same night, I remember one of the brothers at the Masjid who was there in the room when I took Shahada, he pulled me to the side and he said, you know, do not get caught up in the cultural aspect of Islam. And that stuck with me ever since, okay? So when I say if don't do anything you're not comfortable with, I mean that in the sense of everyone has like their own view or the way they do things. Some people do incorporate their culture in Islam. Some people may say, oh, you don't have to wear the hijab. Some people think that's not obligatory. Other people may say, oh, no, you need to do this way. Other people may keep tugging and pulling you. Some people may say, oh, get married right now, which I don't think is smart, you know, if you're still figuring yourself out in the deen especially. Other people may say, like, you know, just many different opinions and views and aspects based on cultural influences as well as their view of Islam. But don't do anything you're not comfortable with, okay? If you feel like that something, you know, your gut feeling tells you like, oh, I don't know about that, like, just pause and do more research, ask around, do your own investigation and studying. And as you grow, then you'll learn what you are comfortable with. You'll learn what is really right, what's not right. Okay, you'll learn what is cultural and what is Islam. Alright, so don't do anything you're not comfortable with. Don't be pressured into anything, whether it's marriage, whether it's wearing the hijab or not wearing the hijab, whether it's, whatever. Okay? Seek Allah first in everything that you do. And again, that also ties into my last point, which is remaining true to yourself. So a lot of I think a lot of reverts and converts can feel like a sense of lost identity. I feel like sometimes I'm speaking like collectively now. I feel like sometimes you can feel like you don't have a place because of the different cultures in Islam, which sometimes in certain places it can seem like it's predominantly Paki, or it's predominantly Somali, or it's predominantly Arab, or something like that. But you don't have to like pick and choose from those cultures. I remember speaking to someone a while ago, and she was saying like she feels like, we have to pick and choose from other cultures because we don't have our own thing. But the truth of the matter is, like, you have your own thing. Whatever you were doing before Islam, however you dressed, however you spoke, that is your thing. Okay? Just because someone dresses a certain way doesn't make it more Islamic. Alright? You don't have to wear an abaya. Alright? You don't have to wear a sari. Okay? You may have your regular clothes. You may have your own clothes that are suitable, like they cover the areas they need to cover. They're not exposing the shape, and that's fine. It may just be a really long shirt, long sleeve big shirt from Forever 21. Okay, that is your culture. I mean, if I'm speaking from my point of view, I grew up here in the U.S. That's your culture. You go to Forever 21, H&M, and you find something that is modest and covers the shape. That's your culture. You don't have to go wear an abaya, or you don't have to go wear a sari or whatever else is out there. A bati. Even though I love abayas and batis, okay? That, me personally, I have abayas and I have some batis because they were gifted to me. But I genuinely, like, when I go to the masjid, I most of the time wear those because I genuinely like them and they're very comfortable. And it's just kind of like you just got to slip on the dress and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. But there are times too where I wear my Forever 21, my H&M, my White House Black Market clothes, as long as they're modest, okay? So that is your culture. Even sometimes people even change their accent, change the way they talk. They one minute they're like, hey, what's up? Next minute they're like, oh yes, brother Aki, my name is, whatever. Like some people even change the way that they speak, and they might be from Texas and used to be like, hey y'all, or however Texas people talk, and now they're like, oh brother, sister, whatever. No, like, remain true to yourself. Whatever your personality was, alhamdulillah. Like, if you like hiking, if you like swimming, if you like basketball, if you like ice skating or something, I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. If you like volleyball, you can still do those things. If you like painting, you can still do those things. As long as you're not doing something that is haram, you're alright. You're good. You don't have to, like, your personality does not have to change. The things you love don't have to change. You're still you, and embrace that and accept that. And again, I was reading the book Being Muslim, and that's what makes your sincerity with Allah even better. It makes you more genuine with Allah. It makes your worship more sincere and more genuine. Because you're you. Alright? You don't have to, like, pick and choose from other cultures. Nothing's wrong with your culture. Whatever you are, there's nothing that says this culture, because of how they dress and talk, is more Islamic. Alright? Okay? As long as we're in the guidelines, we don't have to look like a certain way, in a sense of, oh, I have to wear this, or else I don't look like I'm Muslim. Okay? Of course there are things we do wear, like hijab. Okay, that's something that's obligatory, but I'm talking about in the other sense, you don't have to pick and choose. be proud of where you're from and how you do it. That's your culture. And because of that, because of your uniqueness and your culture, you have something more to add and give to the Islamic community. You have a new perspective to give to the Islamic community. Okay? Remember to still be you. Remain true to yourself. Me personally, I never really had an issue with that. I just like what I like, whether it's from another culture, whether it's from mine. I didn't have like an identity issue. You could say I wasn't trying to like, I need to be a part of this. Okay, I just like what I like. But then there are some people who feel like they're losing their sense of identity. But like I said, you're you, and stick to that. So I don't think I left anything out. I hope this helps some of you who are transitioning and going through that phase in time and space. And we're Muslim, people who are born Muslim or those who are converts and reverts, we're always going through a transition. There's going to be ups and downs in the deen, no matter who you are and where you're from. Okay, we all, again, have our own path and our own journey. So stay in your lane. Focus on your lane. I say this all the time. Stay in lane number 1. You stay in lane number 2. You stay in lane number 3. Everyone, just focus on what you are doing. And I say this as well. If your intentions are pure, that's all that matters. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You don't have to worry about what someone else is doing. Allah takes care of it all. Okay? So if you have any questions, please ask. And if you have any comments or concerns, please, let me know. Subscribe. Like this if you did. Give me a thumbs up. What else? Yeah. And I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed. Assalamu alaikum.